as far as academics are concerned, I have a bachelor's and master's in computer science, and I did work for pretty much all the big bellwether of uh, telecoms and financials and news corporations and so on in the past. And for the last 10 years, long story short is I have a passion to do my own business. I did consulting, IT consulting, which did not work. Basically, it did work, but I just realized that, I really don't have that, passion for something else. I always wanted to travel all over the world. And I had that passion it was in my, I would say it was in my thoughts, but I really did not know what to do. Long story short, some of the time I will explain to you how I got into this. So I got into this. I did a small deal of rice, and I just like the business. It is trading. It is sunnah, Prophet ﷺ. So that is one reason I would say it's compelling. It was compelling for me, and basically it was very, very tough learning for me, I would say. And the reason is when I go down some of the bullets that I have put together, I will tell you why it is so difficult. I should say information technology has made it easier, but it also has made it very tough. The reason I would say it has made it tough is because now anyone can do or portray who they are or what they are, and that might not be the case. And everyone is remote. Most of your clients, your business partners that you're working with, by the time, I would say, a wide variety of entities that you get involved, by the time you know them, it does the damage. So let me put it this way. So that is why due diligence and connecting with the right people is very important for this business. Is it a good business? Absolutely. It is. It's very lucrative. It is very rewarding. It takes time. And I am pretty sure most of the folks who are on this call are from IT background or other professional backgrounds. And you will all agree to me on this notion that, whatever we are doing, we have education, we have experience, and we have hands-on to back our whatever effort we are involved in or whatever line of business we are in. So having said that, I will start our session formally, and then I will go over a few things, and then at the end I'll take some question answers. So just say if you are interested in this business and you are just novice, you're brand new, that's not an issue. So you can certainly do some small, I would say, put together a small effort. You can register a company. First thing is register a company. When you register your company, it's very easy. I would say I do a business overseas, and I would say one of the best countries to do business is the United States. It is very easy. It is very business friendly country. I'm not going into politics of the politics of this country for the last few years, but overall it's a very business friendly country. It's very accommodating for enterprises. So, and one of the things is it's very easy to register a company. You can literally go online and you can register an LLC for mere $300 or so, roughly give and take. So even if you go through an accountant, it doesn't cost more than $500. So register a company. So this way, if you register a company just in 2020, even if you do a transaction in 2022, your company has 2 years in the record. You can just say, I have this company registered in whenever. So it's easy. And when you register it with the commodity. And if you are registering the company in New Jersey, they have an option in the commodity trading under the import-export section category. You can go and register the company. And yes, can you hear me?
Are you sharing the slide?
Oh, I thought, yes, I am. Oh,
just
actually what I did is, hold on a second. That's what I was asking, that if I can share now you should see it.
Yes, now it's good.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, Actually, I think you have to share every slide. I wanted to share the whole desktop. Let's see. I have that option somehow. Let me see. Is there an option to share the whole desktop?
Yeah, if you unshare again and then try to reshare, and then you should see like share desktop versus desktop share screen.
Okay, so let's see. If I click here to where it says new share, right?
No.
It's going to give you an
No?
option to choose desktop. So it will just show as desktop. Just select that, it will share the whole screen.
See if I click here. Okay.
No. May I recommend stop sharing first?
Oh, stop sharing. Okay, got you.
Stop sharing first and restart sharing, and you will see an option that says desktop.
Okay, now it says, okay, so it
Top
says
left.
top left. Okay, it says screen
Screen share, yes.
share. So, okay, that is the screen share. Okay, if I do now, do you see it?
We see right now the Word document.
Correct.
Okay.
And let me do alt tab to see if.
Yep, and now we
see.
can see everything you have.
No, do you see now the export solution?
Yeah, we see now the export solutions.
Okay, very good. All right. Excellent. Okay, so I already went over the company formation, very easy process. You can register the company. And then I would say, just say if you are new to this business, why trading? Why not something else? In my opinion, it's very dynamic. You can independently run this business from your house to begin with. But even having a virtual office or a workspace is not very difficult. There are a lot of options in New Jersey and throughout the United States, so which you can explore. But one thing is, I would say, whenever you're doing a business effort, any business effort, from an ethical point of view, is just be honest. Like, if you have a virtual address, you don't have to say anything. But if someone says it's virtual address, you say yes, it is a virtual address. And white trading is dynamic. It's independent. You can run a business independently. You don't need staff in the beginning, and you don't need to have a labor. If you start a grocery store or a gas station or a shop, you need payroll. You have to have payroll. You have to have employees. If they don't show up, you have to go work and so on. So for any business, once you start, you need funding, you need financing. And now in this business, I would say in trade business, if you are a good broker, you have a good context where you are indenting or where you are brokering the deal, you don't need any funds, you don't need any money. But just say most of us, we don't have that option because we don't have the client base. So how I started that, I had personal savings, I had some cash, I had some funds from friends and families, and then we did have some investors. We had good times, we had bad times. That is the name of the game in business. That all happens. Now, for any business, especially for this business, the most important is who are your clients, who are your customers. This is, I would say, it is the key. If you
Can I ask one quick question? Do you want us to ask questions as you go along, or do you want us to wait till the end? Just what's your preferred process?
Brother Aziz, what do you prefer?
Till the end, you can ask the question in the chat room, but if you verbally, you should ask at the end.
Right. Okay, very good. And if the chat questions, if someone can read it for me, that would be great. So I'm going to keep going. I'll try to wrap it up and then I'll take questions. So, but my goal is to go until maybe 6:40 to 6:45, and then take questions for about 20 minutes or so. Okay, so again, funding and financing. You have, I would suggest for any entrepreneur, the good thing is, I have few brothers here, I'm not going to name them, but I like their approach. They are doing this business this is like a side business for them. they are putting little time and effort, like, one pallet, half a pallet. That is a good way to just say, to test the waters. So, and one thing is, I'll try to go through this very quickly. I'll try to wrap it up in the next 15 minutes. The reason I'm saying is that I really want to talk about PPE business. The reason I want to talk about PPE business is that is like a very hard business right now. That is something, where I would say interested and serious individuals can make inroads. So I would like to give about 10 to 15 minutes to PPE. So where was I? Customer clients. Okay, now where you are going to get customers or clients, like I said, it is your business contacts. If you already know the business, if you know, and I'll give you an example. It is your business contacts, whether they are brokers, they are buyers, intermediaries. Intermediaries are just like brokers through your network, through the business that your relatives know, or in the community if someone else knows. I'll give you a very good, quick example. For example, if you want to do just say flour, or you want to do sugar. So I do sugar. I have a partner, both my partner and I, we have a warehouse in Rahway, New Jersey, right off of, what is that road? Close to Route 9. And I don't get involved in daily operations, but my partner does. I do all the procurement. And just say if you go to, for example, Patidar or Sabzi Mandi, and you say, listen, one thing you can sell quickly and they will buy quickly is sugar. Sugar is something you can, because it's a very complicated business. If you tell them, I want to send you rice or flour or grains or chickpeas, they will not entertain you. But when you tell them you will sell them sugar and better price than market, next thing they will ask you is, what is the price? Like, what is the packing? What is it? Give us this and that. So you can start with that. So we have a warehouse you can take. Let me just say one thing. This session is not based on my business effort. I'm just giving you an example. There are other sugar suppliers. You can go to Home Depot, not Home Depot, Restaurant Depot, and buy a pallet. And then I know some of the folks in our GM group, they do that. A pallet or a half a pallet, to be honest with you, does not worth my effort. I do at least a truckload. So truckload of sugar is usually, it's about these days, it's about $17,000, $18,000. So we do about a few truckloads a day. So if someone comes and buy a pallet of sugar or half a pallet of sugar, that really doesn't help me much. But just to help someone, that's fine. We can do that. Or you can buy from Restaurant Depot, or there is another very big chain, Restaurant Depot and Jetro, because they are the ones who will give you in pallets. If you go to Walmart or Costco, they will not give you pallets. They will give you 50-pound or 25-pound bags. So basically, that is something that you can do on your own. So how would you start a business? I would say, I'll tell you how I started. I started with rice trading. Then I went to about 10 years ago. Then I did sugar trading. I learned the hard way. Then I started metal scrap business with a partner. And we did deals to Vietnam, India, China, Pakistan, Bangladesh. It was tough. And right now, I have my agro business. Alhamdulillah, it's doing pretty good. And then I have a PPE effort. PPE is personal protective equipment. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with it if you're not. So this is, I would say, more like a COVID-19 centric. It has in PPE equipment. I'll come to it later on. Well, let me just go through it first. So what I did is, I would say I was novice in the beginning. I made mistakes. I was very trusting, and I lost a lot of money. And when I lost a lot of money in the business, but I had a very sincere effort. I said, I will definitely do this, no matter what, whatever mistakes I have made, I will not repeat those. And my goal was, I said, if anybody is out there who does not know, I will help them so they don't go through what I'm going through. So that was the main reason that I had joined the JM group. I said, if anyone wants to put a business effort, I will not, and they come to me, I will make sure, I mean, not that they do business with me, I'll make sure they don't lose money, because it's very, very easy to lose a lot of money in this business. I would say it is easier to lose money in this business than the stock market. So you can analyze, what I mean by that statement. So because a lot of money in this business is nothing. So what I did, this is, if you are new to this business, expect that, you'll do some investments and you'll make money and you will lose money too. So, and then, I re-strategize and optimize my business approach and analysis. And I would say you should do that first. You should do that first. Any business which comes in my way, I would say, investment in the commodity trading business comes in my way, or someone suggests, very first thing I ask them is, what are the risks? That's it. That is like my first question. What are the risks, and what is your skin in the game? So if you are saying this is such a lucrative of a deal, what do you have? What skin in the game do you have as far as finances are concerned, or it could be your reputation and so on. So just, make sure, you have the same approach. So how to do business? It is very, very important. I would say this is one of the most important thing is to do the business with the right people. When I say right people, those who are competent, experienced individuals, they know how. They know how the business is done, and they are familiar. Someone can be very nice individual, very honest, with integrity, but if they are not familiar with the business, it can cause a lot of problems. So all these companies out there, they have big risk management departments. Their whole goal is to make sure how to minimize and mitigate risks. So when you are in the business, just if you're doing business in the community, you have to be careful for your namesake. And risks are financial risk, reputational risk in the business, in the community, or as as a person, we are all human. We have, we just don't want to be put down for something which is not in our control. It is like, if some of you are from IT background, if you give someone a very complex program to code, and it's a rookie first year of school, you know what to expect from him. He's going to certainly and definitely make mistakes. And if you put him on a production environment, and if he writes something wrong, it will be very detrimental. So just please, you have to be very careful. Your credibility will be damaged. Your name will be damaged in the market or in the community, and it will have a negative effect. So, and another thing is, which, I will say, if you're not familiar with, documentation is very important. I'm a documentation guy. I will come to it later on when we talk about PPE. Documentation is, I can look at the document and I can tell you that if this document is doctored or if the document is genuine. And because of this information technology, it is very easy to manipulate documents. They are players, they make the documents look like they're totally genuine. So you have to be very careful, because this can be very misleading with your lack of experience or lack of knowledge. But seasoned traders and business owners, they know how to do the due diligence and how to look at the documents. You will come. This one session is, believe me, is not enough. It's just an introduction. I would say if some of you are interested, then inshallah I will do another session just on PPEs. So PPE is something which is very a lot of you can make good money, I would say. So now other thing is, what kind of commodities? See, it depends. I know some of my folks, they are very well established. They don't even touch PPE business. They say we don't have expertise. We don't want to get involved in it. We don't know. So it's up to you. If you have one particular commodity, just say you want to do rice or sugar, you can just focus on that, or metals. You will inshallah do very good in it. So just choose a commodity which you think you have some good sources, or which you personally like. Just say if you're from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or some country in Africa, and this particular commodity I have a good grasp on, and there is a demand in the United States. See, when I talk about trading or import export, I am talking about global business. It's not necessarily only limited to the United States. My business, I would say, I'm not talking about PPE. Without PPE, my business is mostly out of the USA. And I do a lot of business in Africa, and I love that continent. It has 54 countries. There are a lot of opportunities in Africa. The only thing is you have to be connected with the right entities. So what commodities? There are many aspects. Just say for import export, you can also get involved in domestic distribution. So if you are involved in domestic distribution, a lot of the products come from out of the United States. Particularly, I do sugar. I know a lot about sugar. It comes from the sugar which I trade in comes from Colombia, Brazil, and Central American countries, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. But it can come from some other countries as well. But sugar, pasta, and shrimps. United States has a particular kind of quota on these things. So quota means there is a certain amount you can bring, and then there's certain paperwork you have to follow. So that nitty-gritty details, if once you are interested, we can go into those. So now I just highlighted something. It says, are you interested in consignment trading business? Consignment is basically when you get paid when the cargo reaches a destination. So again, when we go to PPE, I will touch upon that topic. But that's basically consignment based. Now, consignment based is basically you are not paying, but you are giving guarantee to your exporter. And I would say, once you are in the business, once you have made a name, people trust you. Like just say I have the leverage of certain commodities where I don't even have to pay. I just sign a contract, they give me the product, and I can pay them later on. But it comes like, with the passage of time. It is not going to happen right away. So a consignment business is, sometimes you will do the business, sometimes you will get the product. And what are the roles as how you can do this trading business? Again, when I say trading, it means import export, and not online trading. So import export, you can be a trader, reseller, indenter. Indenter is like a intermediary or a broker, where you don't have any financial stakes or risks. You are just indenting the deal between the two parties, and you get certain amount of commission. And if this is how you would like to do this, that's fine. You just need to make sure that whoever you are dealing with, they are trustworthy parties. At times in this business, once they don't know you, they just cut you off and you don't get paid. So again, you can do some paperwork, or if your parties are trusted, then obviously you don't need to do that. So what are the things? Agro commodities, like I'm involved in agro commodities. Brother, what's his name? He's Shami. What is his name? He is one of the admins. He is into industrial equipment, machinery, and parts, and he's doing very well. He doesn't have any time for other, line of business. So that is a very good, lucrative business. And United States is a very, I would say, ideal country for industrial equipments, where you can export these to Middle East and Africa. I have a few of my friends they are doing, and they're doing extremely well, because their average trade is, it's a pretty lucrative, and they make good money. Okay, so and other line of business is Horeca. Horeca is hotel, restaurant, and hospitality. Horeca stands for hotel, restaurant, and cafe, or hospitality business. Right now, this business is, I had a supply chain coming from France to give it to a few folks who are taking UHT milk from me and some other agro commodities, but that business is right now on a standstill. But otherwise, it's a very good business. United States has many restaurants and hotels. So once they know they have a good source, they will just keep buying from you. PPE. Like I said, this is more like a COVID-19. Basically, PPE was there as well, but right now it is like, it's completely a different business. I'll come to it after I'm done with the session. So metals, there are different kind of metals. You can do basic metal, precious metals, scrap metals. But again, I would say if you want to start, scrap metal will be your easiest one. Otherwise, basic and precious metal, you need a lot of expertise. So that you will learn down the road. And fuel, I would say if you have very, very good source, just say particularly out of Russia, that is a line of business you should be in. It's extremely lucrative business, but it is very, very difficult and tough business, especially if you don't have good sources, mainly from Russia and USA as well. But money that you'll make is Russia and that region. And logistics and transportation is another line of business. But that is, I would say, it's not as lucrative, but it is consistent business. You don't have to put so much time and effort. I'm personally not involved in it. Even for our sugar business, I have some entities. We just give them, we just do the business and give them, just pay them. So we don't get involved. The reason is because it's not a low margin business. Let me put it this way. So, but it's a volume business. You have good clients. It's a repeat business. You make good money. So now the question is who to do business. Now, when you have a product, whether it's just a small quantity or big quantity, you need to make sure you are dealing with someone who is qualified. When I say qualified, I mean RWA. It's a banking term, but I would loosely use it here. It stands for ready, willing, and able. So someone has to be ready. Ready means they have to be financially ready, and they must be, because a lot of people you will come across in the business, they are not serious. They are just saying it. They're not the buyer, or they are just doing an inquiry. So if you don't vet them out or sort them out, you will be wasting a lot of time and nothing will happen. So your buyer should be qualified. And that goes for suppliers as well, because a lot of people, like particularly in this PPE business, a lot of sellers, they are not sellers. They don't even have the product. But you will come across with them, with the brokers and sellers. They will say we have something, but in reality they don't. So how you will know? I would say you will know when you get involved. So, and this document is generally on trading, not on particularly on the PPE. So that's why it's a very generic document. So. Now, where to do business? You can do business domestically within the United States. You can buy and sell it here. You can do distribution, and you can do the business internationally between the countries. I had been doing internationally for quite a while, mainly between Brazil and Africa, Thailand and Africa, Egypt and islands in Africa, and even I do it now as well. But now we also have a good business effort within the United States. Let me tell you this. You should have a strong belief that, this is what I'm doing. I'm sincere. I'm going to just putting my efforts. Things will happen. Things will happen. You will get the intuition how to do business. You will learn in the beginning, you will learn the ropes, and then, things will come together, and you will slowly but surely, you will just start connecting with the right. You will start connecting, and you will be connected with the right people. Is it going to take time? Yes, it will take time. And if you ask me that I give you, from business point of view, I give you my business contacts without, any, just say, what you call interest, for me, it will be unfair ask. So I have some of my business. If we are doing business, you need any help, I will certainly help you. And wherever we have synergies, we'll work together. And I can guide anyone who, even if they don't know me, and I have done that many times. I have made good friends, and I have lost business. The reason I lost business, when I realized that if I do business, I'm going to make money, but this person who's doing the business, he will not make money. I just write off right upfront. I mentioned it to them. I said, this is the ground reality. I know this market. In my opinion, you shouldn't do it. And at times, people laughed at me that, you are, but if I know the ground reality, I don't just feel good if I'm making money and someone is not. So that's why, you need to basically make sure, even if you're doing business with someone and the reality, ground realities, tell them you might not do that transaction, but they will put good words for you and they will give you the future business. So, okay, so you can do it internationally, you can do locally. Locally means domestically. It could be indigenous products or products from overseas. And then there are some local business entities that you can join depending on what line of business you have chosen. So just say if you decide that I'm going to do scrap business, I would say first thing is just go on App Store or Google. What is it? Google. I am an iPhone guy, so you can go Google whatever it is, down bookstore or whatever they call it. You go to Google and download an app called iScrap. I like the letter I in scrap. So that will give you all the scrap yards in the United States. It's a very intuitive application. It gives you all. If you need something, you can just click on it and it will tell you. Then you can put the particular your metal that you are looking for. It will give you an idea where you can go and get that metal. It's a pretty cool app. So I would say download that. It's not here. And then join some association if you are in agro business. Just say if you are in sugar business, there is a Sugar Council in the United States. There is Oilseed Council. These are all government-funded organizations, non-profit. They're not there to make money. ICC. If you go to ICC, ICC stands for International Chamber of Commerce. So if you go to iccbiz.org, that is their website. GAFTA is a European-based organization, which is basically stands for grain something. Grain, and I don't know what it stands for, but it's if you're into grain business, then definitely, like I would say, sign for the newsletter. And then if you're into beans, join US Dry Bean Council. And there are many other councils that, you can join. There are Lentils and Pulses Council in the United States. United States, Canada, they are very big on lentils and pulses. In chickpeas. And then in chickpeas, then there are different kind of sizes and qualities. Russia, if you have a good source in Russia, you will get a very good price of chickpeas from Russia. But if you are looking for good, big quality, then United States, Canada, Argentina, Mexico, they have very good qualities of chickpeas. So there is a Chickpeas Council as well. So how are you going to do it? I would say network with professionals, join LinkedIn, and join with good brokers, and you will know down the road when you get involved. And people who are involved in supply chain management business and delivery, hook up with them. If you know someone who is working with hospitals or hotels or cruise lines or airlines, they're supplying, try to connect with them and see, ask them what you can supply. Or at a bare minimum, I would say just go to these big grocery stores and start small. I say, listen, I can give you sugar, I can give you rice, I can give you beans, I can give you, try to see, you might know a friend, who can just hook you up and check their prices. And I would say first a trade or two, even if you're losing money, just do it just to get your foot in the business. So what are the networking that you can do? You can join International Chamber of Commerce. I would say if you're brand new in the business, go to ICC. It's iccbiz.org, if I'm not wrong. That is their website, or you can just do Google ICC. But ICC, there are a couple of things which will come under ICC. I think International Court and then cricket, and make sure it is the business. And then national and international local chapters. Your state has those chapters. And then New Jersey Small Business Development Group, if you're in New Jersey, and New York has it too. And then we have some GM groups and online resources. And if you would like training, ICC has training. ICC website has training, but I would say just take the free one. Otherwise, the training is very expensive. Trade Technologies Inc. If you go to their website, they're pretty good, and they are not very expensive. And then I would say if you're just brand new into this business, just read ICC Incoterms. Right now, 2020 has come as well. So you can just go, I would say 2000, I would share the document later on. So 2000, Incoterms change every 10 years, just like the census. So 2000, 2010, 2020, the next one will be 2030. These are basically, they tell you, Incoterms stands for International Commerce, International Chamber of Commerce. Basically how the international, it talks about the payments and like, you know, how the deal is structured, whether it's FOB or at the port, and then what's going to happen in case of force majeure, if just say COVID hits, or if there is an earthquake and so on. All those things are, those are the terms that you should have for your contract. That helps you. And then, you know, US FDA has a lot of documentation. And there is another newsletter that I signed up. It's called Oxford Business Group. That gives you like very good insight about the different networking. So other resources you can use LinkedIn. Export.gov is very, very good if your focus is on the business in the United States. Export.gov and Trade.gov, both of them. And then another very, very important is US Commercial Services. And US Commercial Services and US FAS, which is Foreign Agriculture Services. They are very, very helpful. Sign up with them. They will give you lots of very good information. And then there are US government sponsored trade missions. I attend those. At times I have to pay for those, but don't worry about the payment. You will make their money back. If you have your own business, you like to get online presence, you can sign up with Alibaba, Facebook, TradeKey. I don't do most of these, but definitely these are your resources. Emails, I don't solicit for business, but I get solicitation, and sometimes I do business with them. And have your own website. And obviously WhatsApp is a very, very powerful tool. Skype was before. Some people use Skype as well, but WhatsApp has pretty much, very, very, I would say that is a must-have group. And if you are doing business, download a business version of WhatsApp. So, and then what are some of the apps? If you're in Scrap business, download iScrap, and then 10 times. 10 times is a very good app. Just download it and then put your information. And then there are some trade missions. Not trade mission, trade shows. FIAL, it happens in Paris every 2 years, even year. Like this year, they have canceled it because of the COVID. It happens in China, Canada, Brazil, Jakarta, all over Middle East and so on. I usually attend Paris, and then one of the other ones I choose. I attend Paris and Canada, and then other one I just choose. Anuga is in Germany. Every other year. So 1 year you will have Sial Paris in Paris, and the other year you will have Anuga in Germany. Gulf Food is every year in Dubai. Very, very good show. I exhibit there under US Pavilion. And Fancy Food, New York and San Francisco. In summer, Fancy Foods we have in New York, and in winter in San Francisco. So what should be your business approach? Do the due diligence, do the KYC of your clients, make sure you vet the party, and look at the business plan, business proposal, and P&L. Do the P&L, especially if you're investing money or if you're putting anyone else's money. Make sure you do the P&L, and you have the business plan. If someone does not have business plan and P&L, I would stay away from them. So my question will be, how do you make money? How are you going to make money? Tell me. At least show me on the papers. So, and what is your business approach, goal, investment, risks? What is your risk appetite? And what is your risk appetite of your investors? And how would you mitigate those risks? And what is your approach? So this is some of the questions you will ask someone who is asking you for the money, or if you are teaming up with someone. So create your corporate profile. It can be 2 pages. It doesn't have to be very elaborate. Just, to the point, what you do, what do you plan on doing. And as far as financial capabilities are concerned to do the business, you have cash, you have some investors. If you don't have it, there are trade finance tools, UCP 600, which is basically a documentary letter of credit. Get used to it, read it, see if you already have business, some other business which is you can relate to it. See that if bank can give you a letter of credit. Now these letter of credit mean if you are doing the business, someone might give it to you. So that's why you have to be familiar with these documents, because not many people will just give you cash, especially if they don't know you, they don't trust you. Because every average transaction that I get involved is usually $150,000 to $200,000. No one is going to give me cash. So I mean, I do get cash, but in the beginning, no one gives cash. They will give you a documentary letter of credit. So you should be familiar with UCP 600, how it works, how you get paid. Because if there is a little discrepancy, you will not get paid. And TT is basically wire transfer. We call it telegraphic transfer. In America, we call it wire transfer. Advice, LC, letter of credit. SBLC is a standby letter of credit. One of the doctor, Ayaz, I don't know if he's on the call, he was asking about SBLC. SBLC and BG are pretty much the same. They work in the same way. And then there is another term which stands for LOC. It's called line of credit. If you do it in Swift, it's called MT 720. So LC is MT 700, SBLC is MT 760, and LOC is MT 720, which is basically it's a transfer. Anyway, some other time when we talk about trade finance, you will go into that details. And last thing is commercial loans. If you are qualified, you can get commercial loans. Now, I am a little bit behind. I am done here, and I'm ready to take questions. But for 5 minutes, I will talk about PPE, and then I'll take questions. So I don't have a slide. I was not even sure I will talk about PPE, but I will just go over it very quickly. So the PPE is the personal protective equipment. Basically, by that we mean masks. We are all using those masks, sanitizers. In masks, then you have 3-ply masks, 4-ply masks, KN95 masks, N95 masks, NIOSH certified. And then there are some other manufacturers like 3M, Honeywell, Kimberly-Clark, and so on. There's many. These are big American names. And then you have nitrile gloves. You have gloves. In gloves, you have nitrile gloves. You have latex gloves. You have vinyl gloves. And protective equipment, you have face shields. You have gowns. You have thermometers to check and then you have a body mask and so on, many things, and test kits and so on. So I would say this business, and now this business is literally on fire. I'm sorry? Okay. So this business in the United States, particularly in the United States and in Europe, particularly in the United States, is on fire. So how do you get involved? I started this business back in February when I was doing a trade show in Dubai. So I did 3-ply masks, and then I did KN95 masks, and then I did sanitizers. And now I work with in the beginning, I was just I was working with people. So I did business, but I wasted my time. But now I have good clients. I'm connected with a few hospitals and health clinics. But honestly, I cannot put a lot of time and effort into this because I am focused on gloves, nitrile gloves, and a lot of my time is being wasted. But it is very lucrative even if you do 1 or 2 deals even in a month. So how you're going to do this, that is a tough part. But I would say, since I am already in a situation where I have put a lot of time and we don't know, I mean, I hope and pray that, this COVID thing subsides and we have a vaccine and, everyone, people don't die. But things are not in our control. It is from God, it's from Allah. So He knows better. He has the best plan. But until it comes, this business, you can make good inroads in it. And even just say if the vaccine comes, people will still be cautious. There is a huge demand of gloves in the hospitals and health clinics. And if you see on an average, if you look at it, we all have masks. We are putting masks. We are using masks. We use them again. But in a hospital, when they put gloves, one nurse uses about 50 to 100 gloves during her shift. And those gloves are they are in like big demand in the United States. So, and those gloves are also being used in the hospitals, in the restaurants, houses, everywhere. So now the demand is very high. And I'll say one last thing, and then I'll start taking your questions. If some of you are already in it, very good. If those who are not in it, and you have to, first of all, you have to be very, very patient. It takes time. It will take time for you to get connected with the right people. But I would say, rather than chasing the wild goose, choose few good buyers. Go see who needs gloves. Start with hospitals, health clinics, and ask them what do they need, and start with them. If you have a friend or a family or someone you used to work with them and they are in a healthcare, and I'm telling you, once you tell them you can provide them nitrile gloves, they will say, "Tell me where you can get me and how much." They will not say right away. They will jump on it. So you need to have the source to supply them. So your goal is to just have a good bona fide genuine buyer, or a buyer who buys for different entities, and he will, in the current market, he will certainly buy from you, especially if you have a little bit. So I would say start with the hospitals, talk to one hospital. They might say, "Oh, we have a buyer. He is in Queens." Ask them who's the buyer. So try it, and then also check the states. Go to your state's website and see what PPE equipments they have the tender on. What are they looking for? How much they are looking for? Try to bid and see. Once you get just say a government's PO, it is good as cash. You do not need the money. If you have secured a good, renowned company's PO or a state's PO, I can guide you with what to do. And if you want to team up with me, see, this session is to help you. But if you want to team up to do business, we are okay for that proposal as well. So, but this is how you should start. So what I'm going to do is, we have about 10 minutes. I'm going to start taking your questions, and then we'll see from there.
Thank you, Asad. Yeah, so let me just first go through the questions that we have on the chat, and after that we can take some other questions. So first question is, what is the minimum starting investment? Can you give an idea? Let's say you find a product. What's the next step?
See, I would say if you just say, for example, if you go to a buyer and the buyer says, "You know what, I'm just telling you," the buyer goes, "Get me a sugar pallet." I don't do sugar in pallets. You can talk to me. I'll tell you, what, the sugar pallet will cost you, just say roughly, I'm just throwing a number, $2,000, right? And you say, "Okay, I'll bring my truck, this and that." You basically need $2,000. You will come to my warehouse. You can go to anybody's warehouse. You can go to Home Depot. Not Home Depot, Restaurant Depot. You can get to Jetro. And you ask your buyer, say, what is, have the price, negotiation. He goes, "I'll buy for $2,200. So you're making $200. Just grab it yourself, or hire a truck, deliver it to him. So basically you need $2,000. But if you're doing the whole truck, then you need $16,000. So say if you're doing 10 trucks, then you need $160,000. So it is subjective. But if you would like to do just say international trading, where you are thinking about doing a 1 container load, if it is a basmati rice load from just say India, Pakistan, basically these are the main sources for basmati rice, you need about $25,000. I'm just giving a rough number, because then there are different categories. So you need $25,000. And you can do one container. But if you're doing sugar minimum MOQ, we call it minimum order quantity, is 5 containers. So 1 sugar container will cost you about just say $17,000. So you need about $60,000. Yeah.
Okay. Second question I have is, you mentioned about having a business registered, but do we need any kind of licensing for importing products?
No, that's a good question. And I will tell you, like I said in the beginning, United States is one of the best countries to do business, whether you import or export. There are requirements, obviously. FDA will get involved when you get the product in the United States. When you get the product inside the United States, there are 2 government entities will get involved, FDA and USDA. So, and if you are just say, like I do UHT milk powder, so FTA gets involved, but USDA does not get involved because I get it shipped to Florida, and then it goes to cruise line, and cruise line uses it in the ocean, and it doesn't come in the United States. So that is why the product is not coming. It's coming to the US, but it's not coming inland. So for that, I would say if your focus should be to do the trade, and I can help you. In our group, we have some individuals who are custom brokers. Just give it to them; they will handle over everything. You don't have to worry about being registered with FTA or so. That the custom broker will do it on your behalf.
Okay.
So just register as a commodity trading company. That's all.
So initially, you recommend that you start focus on trading and work with somebody who has experience in importing, and later on, once you still have enough understanding about the product, and then you can jump into importing. That's your recommendation.
See, it depends. It just depends what you would like to do. Doing internet import export is like a lot of people's dream business, right? It was mine, and it is still. So my focus was never inside the United States. I just got sucked into it because it is, when you get involved in the business, people, know what to do then. The things start coming to you. So, and believe me, it's a very good business to do sugar in the United States. Then I would say overseas, and I'll tell you why very quickly. Because over here I do business, I make money by the week, by the time week ends. Overseas I get the money after 6 weeks. So I can flip many times here, and I make more money because I take the sugar, I deliver it in 7 days, I get the payment. But overseas I get the payment after a month or 6 weeks. The reason is because it just takes that much time for the cargo to get there.
True. No, that really makes sense.
Yeah.
Another
Right.
we have: do you get branded stuff from these sources? I think most of them you mentioned is about mostly raw products, so not those branded. But do you get branded for PPE products?
Yes, PPE, as far as the PPE concerned, yes, branded, and right now the demand is so high that a lot of these buyers, they don't care which brand is it, as long as it has a certain specs, specifications. So in PPE, like just say in the gloves arena, you have V gloves, Hartilega, 3M has Cardinal gloves, and then there are SkyMed, Pure gloves, and there are other. These are the main ones, some of the main ones. But as long as it suffices, the nitrile gloves. See, the thing is, like I said, there are 3 different kind of gloves: nitrile gloves, latex gloves, and vinyl gloves. All of us, we are familiar with latex and vinyl gloves because they are mostly widely used. In even my wife uses it, your mom will use it, and so on. Or if you go to a restaurant, they use it. Those are cheaper. Nitrile gloves they don't tear. They are very, very safe. Those are used mostly in hospitals. They are medical grade. So it will not leak. The blood will not penetrate. So those are, you can even make a balloon. It will not burst. So those gloves are expensive, and those gloves are in high demand. So whether brand or no brand, right now it doesn't matter much. But brand name is a little bit easier to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get qualified for raw buyers? Like you mentioned about ready, willing, and able buyers. Can you tell a little bit about like how do you find them?
Yeah, that's a good question. See, there are it applies for business and for the buyer. So just say if you know someone. So if you know someone who is already in the business, you trust them, they are genuine, and they can give you a piece of their business. And and when it comes to business, if you know someone who is in the business, as long as you will give them what they have, or if it is better than that, price wise and service wise and quality wise, they will entertain you. Otherwise, it is their business. You are their friend or family. They will not just accommodate you just like that. It has to have some value add for them. So, and another thing is, if I am buying something believe me, yesterday I got a call from a guy. I know him very well. He goes, I have this sugar in Florida. He was giving me good price, but I was just a little bit skeptical because if I buy sugar from him, I have to pay him $150,000. If he screws it, if the quality is not good, I am just disturbing an existing supply chain where I'm totally comfortable with. So how to do RWA? How to basically vet your buyer? Either you know them or you will have to put time and effort. Just vouch for business. It will take a little bit of time. Right away it's not going to happen. Or if you know a banker, just say if you know a banker and banker says, oh, you know what, I know that guy who does this business. So it will take time, to be honest. It will take time. Go to shows, go to shows and see how people, I used to do that. I would go to show, I will see how people buy, how they ask me question. I will be like, a potential buyer. Okay, I want this. Because I was doing those commodities. I wanted to see what they ask, what are the questions, how they vet the buyer. So easy way to vet the buyer is, you have the money, can you show me? You have the money, you have a bank statement, you have a bank letter. That tells you, if someone gives you the bank letter, and they can do the same thing with you, vice versa. Okay, you have done it. Can you show us you have done something? So it is always a good idea to start, just say with, if you're brand new, totally brand new.
Okay.
And see, either you have the expertise or you have the money. So if you have the money, you can team up with someone and say, hey, listen, I have the money. I would like to invest. Can we get involved and then you teach me? So.
And as a buyer, do you think that let's say buyer's main intention is to get something for less money, right? Because he's always looking at the margins that he's gonna make. So in scenario, like, have you had an experience where people are just looking at price, or they also look at convenience or relationship or time to reach, all those things?
You know what? Most of the time, people are just looking at the prices and they are like window shopping. Most of the time. And even if you're a genuine buyer, I have few buyers. I know even they negotiate. They say, oh, the price is up, price is down, this, that. They are basically looking for the best price and the best service. When I say best service, when the buyer gives you money, just say advance money, or he gives you your letter of credit to perform, he wants his product in no time. He wants it as soon as possible. So that is service. One of the part of the service. The other thing in service comes is you give them the good quality. I mean, and now those guys who work with me, alhamdulillah, they know that, what, I just tell them, this is what I can do. And I have different scenarios, you don't have time to go into the detail, but buyers who know you, once they have trust with you, they will give you more. They buy from you. They will not buy from someone who will give them less or less.
True.
Because more or less is a small window, but if you screw up their whole order, that damages their entire business.
Adil, may I ask a question? This is Frat.
Go ahead, Frat.
Asad, assalamu alaikum. Quick question. You mentioned that you're doing a lot of business in Africa. So let's say, how do you explore new markets? How do you find those contacts, right? So let's say you are going into Somalia and now you want to export scrap metal, right? Somalia. So like, how will you go about doing it?
See, I do business with my business contacts. I do main two approaches. I do business through my business contacts, and I do business through U.S. government entities. I'll show you very quickly. If there is this entity which I basically I'm a member of. It's called it's called Food Export Northeast. We are in the Northeast. They have different chapters. If I go to Food Export, I think .gov. See, if I do this, it comes Midwest, blah blah blah. So basically, I am a part of Food Export Northeast. So you can even go there and you can do a Google search of ABC Global, and my name will come. So I get a lot of leads from them, but I am registered with them. I pay them dues. I do what you call it, I exhibit through them. So they know me, and anything that which is in my profile, when it comes, they send me those leads. So that is a very good way of doing business, especially international. They are not going to help you for local business. This is like international. So just say if someone from Middle East or Africa, they send it to them. We need a good bona fide supplier from the United States, and they will match your profile. They will send you the lead. That is one way. The other way is you go exhibit, you will get the leads. And the other thing is when you're in the business, you get connected with people. Sometimes you give them business and they give you business. So once your business starts, the things will keep happening. It will not stop. It will not stop as long as you are doing the business genuinely and with all honesty, and you give them good service. Business will keep coming. Business will always keep coming.
Okay.
Inshallah. Yeah.
So another question, which is very popular question these days, is it too late to get PPE products because of the fact that market is now getting saturated with them?
Well, it's difficult to make inroads, but like I said, I am involved in a situation where I would say I really don't have time to get involved with hospitals and health clinics. I'm already doing business with them, but my business with them is not big, I would say. It is good. The margins are good. I will admit that, but it is not very big. So I would say if I were you and you are starting this effort, I would say, see, once vaccine comes, see, you have two things. One is that it's a race against time, number one. The other thing is you already have players in the market who know how this business works. And this morning, you know, I was added in a group. It has 100 people in that group, and some of them I even know. And I had a discussion with this supplier who just vouched for the business. And I know this guy is a former CEO of this pharma company by the name Navarro Pharmacy, which has been bought by CVS Pharmacy. And I know this guy. He's totally genuine. I spoke to him. He gave me an offer. And I said, listen, if you don't do this, I am not going to bring my buyer on board. How I learned it, I have learned it the hard way. So if you are new in the business, it will be very difficult for you. So what is easier for you is try to get a purchase order. Let me even make you a business proposal. You get a purchase order from a hospital or a health clinic or from the state. We will team up. Believe me, you will make very good money, and we will make money too. So your goal should be, let me get a purchase order from a renowned entity. Particularly if it's a government, you don't need any money, I don't need any money, we don't need any guarantee. Otherwise, any private party who is getting involved, you will need to have money.
Sure.
That is one. And other thing is, just say for example, the nitrile gloves. So if some of you would like to do that and you have investment, remind me, I want to touch upon the investment part at the end, even regardless of this COVID effort. So if you have just say investment that you are saying, I have no idea about the business, I will leave it to the experts. I'm not saying team up with me, team up with the experts who know the business. You're saying, okay, we'll get the product here and we will sell it. Can you sell it? Absolutely. Would you be able to sell that product 6 months down the road? You will. And the margin between the prices in the United States and getting it from overseas are lucrative enough. Even if the market subsides, you will still make money. You will still make money. But you need a lot of money. You need a lot of money to put, because even a smaller quantity of the gloves boxes are in millions.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think that totally makes sense. Last question I have, and then I can open up for anybody to ask question. And the question, have you looked at importing seasonal fruits like desi mangoes, custard apples, etc.?
You know what? I did not, and I'll tell you why. My expertise is raw material, number one, and I get to go to these places. I've been to pretty much a lot of countries in the world because of business, and I enjoyed it. Like I said in the beginning, I love traveling. I don't do any perishable product, number one. The reason I don't do it, my plate is full, number one. I have only few people, we work together. And believe me, if you have, I would say, even honestly, if I just focus on sugar is the main commodity that I have, which is, I would say, where I make money. Everything else is, it happens, it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I don't care. But sugar is my one commodity where I just say do a consistent business. And I have my sugar supplier. This is his only business. Anything else you talk to him, he doesn't even have time for it. Seriously. So that is why getting involved in so many things, you get digress. And if you have a couple of things which are your expertise, see, you need to have a knowledge base. When someone talks to you about sugar, now let's imagine there is sugar, right? We use sugar, white sugar. We call it white sugar. White sugar has 6 different white sugars. And then there are brown sugars. Brown sugars have many brown sugars. Then you have liquid sugar. Then you have solid sugar. Then you have sugar which is used in pharma. I mean, sugar is such a big ocean of opportunity. You don't need to do anything else. So because of that, I am not involved in perishable product. I have the sources. See, when you get involved, it eats up your time and effort. And when it eats up your time and effort, you digress from your main line of business.
Sure.
So I don't do any of the mangoes and this and that. And I'll tell you I'll make another comment. By no means, don't take it wrong. If I do just say mangoes or so, right? I'm not going to make enough money than whatever I'm doing. So it's not, and plus, if FDA rejects it, I will lose the whole. And another thing is, if you look at mangoes, what happens? You bring mangoes, you give them 1 truck or 2 trucks. My minimum order is usually 10 containers, 20 containers. So it's financially doesn't make much sense for me, I would say. And plus it is seasonal. So I do a product which are throughout the year. Namely sugar.
Can I ask one question?
Sure, Faisal.
Yeah, this is Faisal. Thank you very much, brother Asad, for doing this. So for the person, just like me, I'm an IT, just like you introduced yourself in the beginning. So as a starter, either you can have a lot of capital or you don't have a knowledge, you are just starting, So for the starter, is it the best strategy to do like indenting or maybe broker, where your money is not involved, you just take your commission and get out of the picture? Or do you think, the right approach is to put some money and partner with someone who's knowledgeable about some business, and go that route? Which one would you recommend?
Both, either one or the other. If you have, when it comes to money, you have to give money to someone you trust. Otherwise, believe me, there are a lot of people, you will just take your money and you won't know them anymore. It's and it is business, next thing you're going to hear from them, hey, it is business. And business, you should know the risk. It has happened to me many times. Now I have a trust deficit when it comes to money, to trusting people, because things just start changing once you put the money in the business. So if someone, you have raised with and is like, your uncle or your cousin, and for sure they're not going to diss you or do the adverse, go with them. Or indenting is the best way, because indenting you have no risk. The only thing is if you screw up, your namesake will be in online. Your name will be online. Otherwise, you have no financial risk on that. But again, for you to indent, you need to have the knowledge base for the product. Just say, if I'm selling nitrile gloves, I should know what thickness it is and what kind is it, and how it looks, what are the details, and how many in a box, how many in a carton, how many in a plane, or how many in a how many in a containers, and what is the shelf life. All these things you need to know. Where basically the knowledge base you need to have. Any product, doesn't matter. Believe me, thinking about any trade, like taking the product and putting in the plane or putting in the container and sending it. That's not how trade works. There are a lot of things. Those people who do this, they are expert in this line of business, only doing this. They have degrees in it. How to, like, I don't know if any one of you guys did. When I was a student, I used to work for UPS. I used to load for them. The reason I used to work for them, it was early morning shift, if any one of you have done it. They used to pay your tuition. I was an international student, and it was very lucrative for me. I used to make $8 an hour, and they would pay my tuition. I did it for 2 semesters. It was very tough. When I was doing that job, especially during Christmas, I got to learn how to load a truck. I used to think that, you just keep putting the trucks, the boxes one over the other. That's not it. They taught us. They said, put these boxes and now put them vertically, horizontally, this and that. It was like, kind of engineering. So same thing is like, especially when you're working on a logistics, you are loading silos. These guys are experts. They have done master's degrees, how to load a vessel, how to load containers, and so on. Yeah, so it requires expertise.
Okay, guys, we are 15 minutes ahead. Any last 1 or 2 questions we can take? Anybody else?
What's
Okay.
What's the?
Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, it's Faisal for you.
Go ahead.
What are you guys thinking for future sessions? Is this something that we can have once every 2 weeks, or maybe focus on a particular area only?
I would say, to be honest, if you see, I am doing this to help you guys. So I can help you, I would say, every other week. I would say focus on PE. This is something you can make money, quick money, and this United States is the place for this business. And just look into it. And like I said, go to try to contact some health. I'll tell you a funny thing. And it's not really funny. I was at my dentist appointment last week. I was with my dentist, and I had a mask with me, which is sent to me as a sample by my supplier in Vietnam. And my dentist, he liked the mask. He goes, I really like this mask. I said, really? He was where did you get it? I said, I got it from Vietnam as a sample. So then we started talking about this BPE and this and that. And she was just telling me, she goes, you know what, if you want like 20 of us, we are like, in the same business, we can give you some order, you give us gloves, you give us this. You know what, I told her, I said, you know what I can do is I can probably have my son take this information, because that, if I, see, the business is there, but if I put that effort, I would say I would probably make $1,000 or $700-800 when I supply them, but it doesn't really worth my effort, my time and effort. I can do better if I put time somewhere else. Maybe 10 days I can put, but I can do one business and make much more money. But the business is there. I was not soliciting the business, but she was giving me the business because she realized that I have knowledge about these things. When I was talking to her, she said, oh, really? It is this way, that way. And she is a professional. And I was talking to her about nitrile gloves. I said, these gloves, she was like, very, it was a very interesting discussion. And she said, I didn't know you are in this line of business. I said, PPE, she goes, I thought you were in food. I said, no, I am, but I'm a trader, whatever opportunity comes, especially this opportunity, even those people who are doing, they have no knowledge, zero knowledge about the trade and zero knowledge about the banking. So alhamdulillah, I have a good background, and only the product has changed. And you guys can do it, because a lot of people who are doing it, they have no knowledge. They just learned the ropes, attended calls, play, they played dumb and listen. And because a lot of things keep repeating. There's no, this is it. It's not engineering. It's knowing about some product. You can go online, you can check how they are made, what is the thickness, what is important, what kind of thickness is used in which line of business, and who are the buyer, everything is there online. You can do research. So
All right. So, guys, I think it's time for us to go back to our families. Um, I will do this like I had the recording for this, and if Asad is okay with that, we can share with the group. And also, we will be having further sessions about this or anything related to import and export with some